also want to show this clip of Doja Cat, right? Because she's been very controversial lately. When she basically rebranded herself, she told all her fans to get lost, rebranded herself, and said, "I'm about to start making a different kind of music." She came out first with "Attention." Attention. I like that song. I thought it was a good song. Yeah, I really do. And then she came out with "Paint the Town Red." I was like, okay, I can't sing that part, She the Devil. I can't do that. So I don't really vibe with the song like that, but it was very TikTok famous. And she even featured the Grim Reaper in the music video and
Yeah,
things like that. Very a
I
lot of
ain't
a
see
lot
it,
of
but
a lot of death symbols and
yeah.
things like that in the Grim Reaper and stuff like that. And then she did something that's most controversial of all. I haven't even heard this song because I haven't physically heard the music of this song because I didn't even want this song in my spirit at all because she was literally dressed as a black demon climbing wall. Like, have you seen it?
No,
You haven't?
no.
You don't need to see it. But she was dressed as a demon. She had the horns, the tail. She was all black. She had the claws and the teeth, like the fangs and everything. Like she looked like she came out the pits of hell. She did. And her song is called Demons. She even had the girl who played Wednesday back in like the 90s on that
From the
movie
Adams
from the
family?
Addams Family. Yeah, yeah, exactly. She had the woman that played that's what
Oh
she looked
yeah,
like right
I
there.
saw that image before.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not gonna
exactly.
lie, that's pretty scary. I
No,
mean,
it's
just to
very
even
scary, and I don't even like looking at it
yeah.
for too long, to be completely honest, because it does make me uncomfortable. And I even had a conversation with a friend who was like, "Well, she doesn't mean it that way," and I'm like, "I'm sure she doesn't." In fact, she has a clip where she talks about how she means it, and it's not like she means it that way. So we're gonna check that out.
And I'm sure you see it on social media. You know, our industry, the entertainment industry, is always like tied to like this like Illuminati, Satan worship, boom. And so then popular person comes out looking like Satan. Here they go again,
Yeah.
promoting this Satanism and et cetera, et cetera. Somebody like myself goes, nah, they're just doing art. She's trying to scare y'all because she knows that you're gonna have some visceral reaction to this imagery.
Or I'm minding my fucking business. So there's, I like the idea of I did it on purpose and it's this big ruse to like make people react.
Right.
But I also like the idea of, which what it is that I love this piece of visual art. I like this visual for this sound. So I chose that visual and I applied it to the sound, and people made up what they want, which is what you do with art. You
Interpret
it means
it.
yeah, you interpret it how you want to interpret it. Everybody has the right to interpret it how they want. But this whole like
You're a Satanist.
very confident Satanism thing is like, I'm sorry, when the fuck did I say that I was a Satanist?
Right.
When did I ever say anything, or even go marching outside the church talking about, no, when the did I say that? And
Yeah. So what gets me about that is when she starts with saying, "Or I'm minding my business," ma'am. You didn't just make the music video and hide it in your archives. You put this out for the public to see, view, and perceive in the way that they do, right? And this is, yeah, she actually has some imagery in her Attention music video too, the song that I said that I liked, right? And it just goes back to kind of a lot of what the industry is doing when it comes to these artists. They are making it seem like these symbols are for artist's sake, for artistry's sake, right? Whereas you're putting it out there for people to see, you're putting it out there for people to perceive as how they do, right? And you want to say that we shouldn't take it seriously and that you're not a Satanist. You don't have to say that you're a Satanist to be one, because Satanism doesn't mean you worship Satan. It actually means you worship yourself.
Ooh,
That's the
she's cooking.
that no, really, that is the ideology behind Satanism. It's self idolatry.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It doesn't mean you sit and give tithes and offerings to Satan. It doesn't mean that. It literally means you see yourself as God. that's what it means. And even then, like, that's exactly
good.
the culture we live in right now. And you're putting out these images that celebrate this kind of thing. I'm sorry, but if it talks like a duck, walks like a duck, and looks like a duck, it's a duck.
Quiet, quiet.
That's what it is. So yeah, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think she said a lot without saying things, and I can tell when people are not saying that, because I mean I do this when I'm talking on a platform, like she was truly thinking about what she was going to say.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when I was watching her, I was listening to what she was saying, but I was really trying to capture what type of spirit that she was feeding off to be able to give us what she gave as far as her rebuttal or comment towards his, questioning. Because, I mean, I think that she is, in my opinion, just from her makeup, she seemed more of a tortured person more than anything.
Yeah.
And I was also looking at the tattoos on her arm. I was trying to find out what that one specific one was, and it looks like some devils, but I can't call it. But yeah, with that, I don't buy it. Like, yeah, she may not know 100% what she's doing, but a lot of times behind the scenes, they actually influence them to do this. Oh yeah, do this. This should be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, people don't take it seriously, but it's real because these celebrities and artists, they're still using the imagery, visuals, auditory responses, and likeness that represents these evils. It's kind of like, like I said earlier, have you ever had a moment where you couldn't get an annoying song out of your head, right? It's the same deal with how these things can simmer in your spirit. And, we talk about things like, it's so funny how we could sit on both sides of the coin and act like they're not contradictory, because culturally, especially with Black people in particular, we talk about the way degenerate rap lyrics affect our young boys and young girls. And at the same time, we don't want to take seriously the images of Satan. It's weird. And the stuff is real, whether we want to believe it or not. And indulging in whatever makes you feel good is Satanism, again, because it's self-fulfillment. And it may be for giggles. It may not be real to you. It's just a cute thing, you're participating in. That's kind of what she's indicating. I like this, so I chose this. Why do you like it? Because, okay, what if someone decide to tattoo KKK or the Nazi symbol on themselves?
Yeah.
Well, they like it. They chose it. What's the problem, right? It doesn't mean what you think it means to them. They just like the symbol.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that to them. Oh, now it does. Now it does. Okay.
Representation.
You can't pick and choose when something represents something else, because at the end of the day, it just does. And let's say, she's the type to even do that and she doesn't care, Again, why are those specific symbols cute to you? Why those? Do you ever dive deep into the mindset that you have of yourself as to why you think those things are resonating with you and your spirit? Like, you don't think that's a problem? It seems she's in a state of rebellion right now. Because why did you just so happen to choose symbols that represent all the evil discussed within the view of Christianity? Why specifically that? Muslims have demons too that you could have chosen from. There are other religions that you could have represented.
Hinduism or whatever.
Exactly. So why I think she had pentagons on her arm too, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, even in her what video is that? The Paint the Town Red music video. Why specifically the apple? Why the fruit, right? Like the fruit represented in the Bible. Why the Grim Reaper? Because within her spirit, these things resonate with her, like I said. And so why do they resonate? Because currently her spirit is in a darker place. And that's very obvious from like what you were saying, like from her makeup to her tattoos, she's very tortured right now. And you see like humans like us can be really just ignorant, that we often believe that we are in full control of everything.
Ooh.
And that we get to choose what means what to us. But I'm sorry to tell you that that's just not true. Everything had meaning and was set in motion before we even got here. And so, yes, we were given dominion, absolutely. But we had to be given that.
Yep.
We are not the creators. We are the gatekeepers of all these other spirits and forces, because we are the portals to these things entering Earth. And we've allowed a lot of them to come here.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, you don't even have to be quote unquote Christian to believe, what they're, doing. So the thing is, even for the super just spiritual people, like, hey, energy is everything. What type of energy is that promoting? Just answer the question. What type of energy is that
for the
promoting?
New Agers.
Is it a positive energy where the moon and rocks is just going to give you good energy? Why do people burn sage?
If there's a bad energy, why do you do? Yeah.
So is that going to promote a good energy based on historical? We can take the Bible out of it based on just historical, facts or just stories. The devil or images like that was always considered of a not so good spirit.
Yeah.
Or not so good energy. Like, come on now. We don't have to play. We all are smart enough and educated enough. If we can say, oh, look how precious that baby is when when that baby is smiling at his dad. Like, that is so wholesome. Oh, look at this image of her crawling up walls and
it's like, do you feel good when you look at that?
Come on now. Come on.
Exactly.
We can go to the next thing.
Exactly. Too many Christians are becoming like everyone else in the world and taking sin far too lightly, right? But Paul reminds us in Ephesians chapter 5, 7 through 14, therefore, do not be partakers with them. For you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Live as children of light. For the fruit of the light consists in all goodness, righteousness, and truth. And find out what pleases the Lord. Have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. It is shameful even to mention what the disobedient do in secret, but everything exposed by the light becomes visible, and everything that is illuminated becomes a light. This is what it said. Wake up, sleeper, rise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you.
Come on with the come on.
And that's that on that. Because the thing about it, again, there's a reason we were called out of the darkness and into his marvelous light, because we needed to. Oh, there's more. Sorry. But yeah. And so with that being said, we have to understand why we're in the place that we are now, and understand that Jesus is the one that can take us out of that light, and why we're there in the first place. Any final thoughts on that?
I think you said it all.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're asleep, you probably need to definitely wake up. I mean, it's common sense, to some degree, on the distractions, on the blatant disrespect that I would say that's directed towards Christianity, that's directed towards the cross. It's really an open road call. It's like, hey, I'm gonna need y'all to choose which side y'all gonna be on. And I think, in my opinion, this could be a way that God is like, okay, well, I'm gonna allow y'all to go and do your thing, right now, because they think that they have a certain they think they have a certain power. It's like, oh yeah, God is silent. He ain't doing nothing. But hey, it's actually being exposed. It's nothing that is like, okay, if we didn't never see this, everybody sees this or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you can't say that people are crazy or they're not conscious enough to understand that, hey, this is their outlet.
I like the word plug.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about modern media, and a lot of people today are pleasantly surprisingly, trying to look for ways to hinder the influence that it is having on themselves and their children. So a lot of them are actually moving off grid. So I wonder if that is a practical solution to it all. Right when we come back.
Like for the algorithm.